Explain to us, why do you have a sell recommendation for Xpeng?
I think my concern is the product position, because the similarity of its flagship model P7 with Model 3 and the Model Y. So I think the sales has been weak, and you see the sales of P7 is always around 3,000 something or 4,000. That's we don't see a steady wrap up of the sales. So my concern is the weakness of this brand, especially its product position. And I think autonomous driving, the company has a first mover advantage. But at this stage, autonomous driving could be a plus, but may not be the sales booster to bring up the sales at this stage, because people may like autonomous driving, but if that is just for parking or just navigating, it's not far away, not enough.
Dan, do you have concerns whether it's about Xpeng or other companies when it comes to that chip shortage? We heard from an executive at Toyota who saw a bit of a cloudier outlook for the summer months. Take a listen first.
Supply chains across the industry are very fragile, and the number one supply chain issue is microchips. So in our case, we've looked good to date. In May, April and May are fine. It gets a little cloudier when we move into June, July, into the summer months.
How much is the chip shortage going to affect automakers? Dan?
Oh, yeah. I think probably 5% in 2021 in Chinese market, but that will be eased in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. I see there's shortage of this chips, but for like Xpeng Neo and Li Auto, because their volume is relatively small, so I think the impact is relatively smaller on these new 4 CV makers.
What about other cost pressures? Would that be the other headwind that you would be concerned about for the total recovery that you see for China?
Yes, of course, because you see the economy recovers, so the raw materials and the commodities price increase, and also the chip price increase would bring pressures on their cost.
We have, of course, that really interesting example of some of the concerns that Tesla might have in the Chinese market, with the protester complaining about the Tesla braking device at the Shanghai Auto Show. We've now also heard from state media saying that Tesla needs to take care of customers' rights. We've seen this story play out before with foreign brands. Is that a worry for Tesla in terms of the amount of domestic competition that's also building as well?
Not yet. You see the tech issues come to this EV maker, automakers. That's very common. So I think for this EV automakers, what they have to do is to improve their quality, and also how they do their service with to their customers after this kind of accidents happen. So I don't think that is an issue for Tesla at this stage, because I don't think most of the because I think the government will still support the progress of NEV automakers, and also the development and the development of this automakers. So if they can bring in new technologies, these kind of accidents, it's should be controlled, but probably not avoidable.
Dan, talking about new technologies, we saw Chinese automakers and car parts makers really rallying the previous session after we saw these comments from CICC that some firms' partnership with Huawei will actually build high-end self-driving and electric car brands, and that will boost growth. What are your thoughts?
oh, the Huawei car, that is a very impressive car with autonomous driving. But the pricing is also very high, I remember. I think that will, in my view, autonomous driving would attract new customers because people would get excited on the features of autonomous driving. But at this stage, I don't think autonomous driving would be a major sales booster for these automakers. So I do like the Huawei car, and I think I think the video that we saw, the autonomous driving video we saw, is very impressive. But probably is more like news, or people would get excited. But I don't think there will be any major change at this stage, especially this year, 2021, because you see a lot of competitors, they all bring their autonomous driving cars to the Shanghai Auto Show. So I think people will still compare with other brands and other technology providers.